All right, hello everyone. We are here with the UW-Oshkosh women's basketball team. On the first round of the Division III championship, they defeated Calvin 61-52. Coach, just some thoughts about the first round to start?
Yeah, it was a great game. I mean, I felt when I saw the bracket that normally you get a team that maybe is punching up a class a little bit, and Calvin was never that team. They just beat Trine, who we know is their first loss in 2 months, and beat Hope, who just won the national title. So we knew we were getting a Sweet 16 caliber team in round one. So we took nothing for granted, and we had to scratch and claw for everything tonight and give them a ton of credit. They're young and super talented, and they were playing with a lot of confidence. And I give our team credit for fighting and playing a really great second half and kind of getting back to who we are, of defending really hard and just grinding out possessions. And I felt like we kind of warmed down maybe a little bit at the end. They were short on some stuff in those final 5 or 6 minutes, but they're also young too, and in their first trip here. So I'd like to think our experience paid off, especially in the second half.
You just talked about experience. It's kind of a two-part for both you and Casey. What does it mean to have a leader like Casey that's been in the tournament so many times before?
I mean, it's kind of why you go through everything to get to this point. I mean, you've got to watch how it's done from the old girls when you're young, and then you've got to take that piece over and see what Leah Porath and Nikki Arneson and Abby Kaiser and all those guys showed her, and then we've got to rely on her to be able to deliver that. And she doesn't have to play great every night, but we need her voice, we need her leadership, and we need her to defend. And she had some really big baskets, but she also got some important rebounds, some big offensive rebounds. And experience usually wins at this time of the year. So we're putting a lot of stock in what our seniors and juniors can do to help you guys.
Casey, what does it mean to be just an annual contender in the NCAA tournament?
I will forever be grateful for this opportunity that we get each year. Like, it takes hard work every single year to get here, and I think putting in the work over the summer and knowing that it's all for this moment that comes like 8 or 9 months later, it's really rewarding. And it feels good when your hard work pays off in these moments.
Questions from the crowd? Couple. Who wants to start? Dylan?
Casey, they were double teaming you quite a bit in that first quarter. You guys were kind of able to turn that around in the third quarter. How specifically were you kind of able to work around that double team defense? Because you still had 8 points at the end of the first half, and they were able to open up pretty big in the third quarter as well.
I think it all came down to slowing down and communication. I really relied on my teammates to communicate to me where the double team was coming from, so I could give them the open passes for them to knock down the threes and the shots that we needed at the time.
Another question? A couple more? I see you guys got them written down.
I'll start. With you guys advancing, how do you guys go into the next game mentally and physically, preparing?
I mean, I think we played 5 tournaments in non-conference Friday, Saturday, and that's kind of why we do the schedule we do, to get used to playing on Friday night and having to get a quick turnaround, get film in the morning, like these guys doing rehab and trying to get their legs back, and this was a grind. So we had to log a lot of minutes with some of our starters to get to the finish line. So but again, we've been through it. The nice part is they get to sleep in their own bed. Usually we're at a hotel on the road somewhere and trying to get to hotel breakfast. So we'll be back in the morning to watch a lot of Bethel film. They're really good. They have great big kids. They're going to pound the ball into, but we think we can create some problems too. So I'd like to think that experience, and Casey's probably played in 20 Friday, Saturday tournaments in her career here. So I think we've got a lot of experience of just going through the beats of what a back-to-back looks like, and we'd like to think we've got enough depth to come back. And obviously in your home building, it makes it easier to have some juice too.
Olivia, anything?
No.
All right. Who else wants to go? Braden?
So, Coach, one thing is, in the second half, you guys only gave up 20 points. Was there something that really kind of changed between the first half and the second half Like, was there like you could see a switch that was flipped?
Yeah.
With you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've been coming out of halftime really strong late, even on Saturday when we lost the championship game. Our defense was so much better in the second half. We had some pop against Eau Claire the night we clinched it. Same thing, I think across too. And I just think, we talked a lot tonight, especially at halftime, about day one habits and being in the right gap and communicating and getting a body on a box out. And I just thought the second half we were so much better. Like, first half they had a lot of space, and I think we did not do a good job dictating what anyone had to do. They kind of just got free reign to go any direction they wanted, and I thought we did a really good job. I thought Sarah Hardwick had a great second half. We did a much better job in the post. Alex Rondorf was fantastic tonight. I mean, she had 7 rebounds, and they all felt big. And I just think they were way more locked in defensively in the second half. And we talked about it, but obviously they've got to go out and do it. And I'm super proud that they answered the bell at halftime.
Question for Casey. You guys gotta have something.
I guess I'll go.
All right.
Casey, I know that defense was talked a lot when discussing Calvin on Monday. I know you kind of answered his question, but for the whole team, what did they do in the first half, and how are you guys able to adjust, especially in the second half?
I think going into our halftime discussion, we really talked about what was working for us and how to create those opportunities more for other people, especially like getting the ball screens and driving down the lane and hitting the corner threes was really a big emphasis for us. And I think talking about how to get in, making sure everyone understood it so that when they stepped on the floor they could execute it, I think that was really critical to our outcome for the second half.
Last question. Anybody? Go ahead.
First off, congrats on that win, Coach Fisher. My question is, what concerns you most heading forward against Bethel?
I mean, Bethel's really well coached. I think they've lost 2 games over the last 2 months, so they're confident. And they just got really good size, like they're physical down low. They at this time of year when you play teams that really know who they are, it's a huge challenge because they're gonna beat you over the head with their stuff. So we see teams that play 4 out and pound in the post, and this team is that on steroids. Like they just rotate 2 post players and they hammer it down low. And DePaul did some things that I think bothered them a little bit, but they still ended up in the high 60s points wise. So we've got a huge challenge with their size and just their tenacity to just keep pounding it in there. And Calvin had some success early. I thought we did a much better job second half down low. So, but that's kind of their bread and butter, and we're gonna try to give them as much diversity in how we play as we can, and makes those kids have to guard us as well. But yeah, they're a great challenge. They play in a good league with another team that they've tied for the conference that's probably going to the Sweet 16 too. So huge challenge for us tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Casey. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.